welcome back. So before we start the interrogation, this is a good one too. I have to make a quick announcement. So bear with me or skip ahead. I got the timer up on the top of the screen if you don't want to hear me babble. Most of you don't mind, but some of you, I guess, man. I don't understand. That's why this is right here. I'm establishing an alibi because of you. You know what I'm saying? No, but for real. If you want to skip forward, go ahead. But if not, hear me out. I need to make a change to the channel. It's not going to affect everybody. It's just going to affect some people. But I think most of you will be excited by the change. It's not going to be a bad change. So basically, for the first hour of my video being on or being uploaded, no ads in the middle of the video. Obviously, I think there's an ad at the beginning, maybe at the end. I don't know. I don't control those. The middle of the video, no ads. Okay. No commercial breaks. Just no ads for the first hour. When I drop a video from now on, nothing. Okay. After the first hour, the minute it clicks to 1 hour and 1 minute, boom, I'm turning them on, letting YouTube do whatever the hell they want to do. Because they've been penalizing me for the last year, and I believe it has to do with the ads. I just do. People have been saying, oh, we don't see anything, we don't see anything. I think they're penalizing me because I don't make them any money. It's a business. It's their business. I'm blessed to be able to put my stuff on their platform, but I believe that's the way it is. Turn your notifications on, and when I drop a video, get your butt over here. When my wife drops a video, get your butt over there. No more commercial breaks. We're just going to let them do whatever the hell they want. But for the first hour, we're leaving them off for our most loyal subscribers. I think that's meeting everybody half. I'm trying to make them happy, you guys happy. Just get over here. Just get over here and watch the video, okay? Now, enjoy today's video. Today's interrogation is about a woman whose child has passed away. Now, the death was really sudden and tragic, obviously, but it was the behavior of the girl after the death that have the detectives looking at her a little side-eyed. Let's dive in.
The place is stocked downstairs, like, so it's absolutely freezing. So,
you know, just at the store, just we have some privacy here too. So, we have everything just so you know. We're just going to try and make work through some forms and stuff like that tonight. Make sure we have a good understanding of everything that happened, but really just working our way through the forms, okay? Just so you know, too, you're free to leave at any time. You're not being detained or anything like that, just so you know. It's just because we're upstairs in a room like this. So, how are you doing?
It was, not gonna lie, I wish you guys would have let me have my phone for one more day because my daughter got taken off the breathing medicine. But
I'm sorry, yeah, there was definitely some problems that happened there. So, I apologize for that. I know the CID was trying real hard to work their way through that, and there were some issues with that. So,
yeah.
Okay. So what this is right here, this is a sudden unexplained death investigation. I think that we've been through this form. Unfortunately, we've done it in the past, and it's just a form that we have to work through tonight as well. So what I'm going to do is go through, you know, and it makes it a whole lot easier to go through this if I just got to go through and fill out the information as we go through that. We don't have to write anything down right there, okay? Before we begin, do you have any questions at all or anything like that? Okay.
so how are things going right now? How are you doing?
Doing it day by day, but I do it tomorrow. So
Yeah, I imagine that's going to be pretty tough.
yeah,
It's a lot to take in a short amount of time.
yeah.
Right. All right. So I'm going to go through and fill out some of the information that I already know as far as name. What is her date of birth? You know her social security number?
Actually, I had to send it. I don't have my phone on me. I don't know it right now, no, but I can give it to you if you guys want to go back to my card.
And we can check on that here in just a little bit too. So, and then where were you guys staying at the time? Was
My sister's.
your sister?
Sorry, she's got 2 pit bulls, so between the 3 dogs, it was just her.
No.
Yeah, it sounded like because there's a lot of dogs. Just good, those are the kind of dogs you want around, right?
They're not vicious at all. They're all lovers.
Yeah. It's just nice when they don't sound like you're from the other road, right?
You are the usual caregiver for the child, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Did you notice anything unusual or different about the infant in the last 24 hours?
Just that she was tired, but like I said, I just thought it was growing
Okay.
tired, and like I said, just didn't want to be done anymore.
Okay. All right. Did the infant experience any falls or injuries within the last 72 hours of that event?
Not that I know of. Like I said, you can ask his mother, or
Okay.
anything like that, because she watches her.
Okay.
I just sit under my watch now.
Okay.
And I had Saturday, Sunday off, and then so there's no falls on during that time. And then Monday, like I said, she watched her for about an hour and a half.
Okay, but otherwise you were off on Monday?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So how mobile was she? I know kids kind of develop it different, because you know what I mean?
She started walking around 8.5 months.
Okay, so she's
she
probably
was
moving pretty
running
good?
and climbing, and yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And a lot of times I remember you just got like a ton of baby gates trying to keep out.
Yeah,
Shouldn't go.
if you guys look at the post house, there's a baby gate going upstairs, there's a baby gate going downstairs. And then I actually had a little setup for when she couldn't quite walk yet, but there was nothing downstairs that she could enter.
It's all baby proofed and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, we had the magnetic locks on the counters, so the only way you could do it was actually bring the lock to it and opening it that way.
Okay.
All right. When was last placed? So it was my understanding that she was placed in the crib. About what time did that occur?
Between 5 and 5:30.
Okay.
Her normal nap time is always 5, but I can't exactly remember at that time. So.
Okay. And that was in which room?
Her room, her crib.
Okay.
The right when you go up the stairs, it's the first one.
Okay. When was last known alive? Was that when you placed her?
When we placed her, yeah, and then I went to check on her about 30 minutes later.
Okay.
Can you describe to me a little bit kind of what everything looked like, what you remember about that? Like how?
There was the boots that she had kicked off from her nap that I never ended up moving in her crib. So, her crib's like this, her head was up here, her boots were down there. And, sorry, and her bottle was, because she drank her bottle before she went to sleep, her bottle was thrown down and it was empty and everything like that.
Is that pretty normal for her?
Yeah.
Okay.
She normally just chucks it and kicks it when she's done with it.
Okay. What about anything else? Was there any kind of bedding on it? What kind of bedding was in the?
She had a bad problem with when she woke up, instead of like making noises and that kind of stuff, she would stand up and start taking her diaper off and flinging her poop around. So there wasn't actually any mattress cover or anything like that on it.
Was that just easier to clean than?
Yeah, I was a daily kind of thing that I ended up.
Sounds horrible. So,
Yeah, I mean, she never got, it was obviously right when she got her handed her diaper was when I was there, but a little bit got smeared that morning, so.
Okay. Anything else around? What else is kind of in that immediate area where she would have been? Just looking for environmental.
Her little border around her crib.
Like those bumper things?
Yeah, little
Okay.
bumper.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't believe that she had a blanket in there, so.
Okay. Do you keep the house pretty warm, or?
Yeah,
how does she sleep?
She always sleeps either, normally like that when I found her, for her nap, she always sleeps on her back. But for nighttime, she always flips over and curls in a little ball.
All right, crew. How do y'all sleep? On your side, on your back, or on your stomach? Go on and put that down below so I know who the cool people are that sleep just like me.
Okay. When you put her to sleep, how do you?
I lay her flat.
On her back or on her belly?
On her back.
Okay. So she's big enough and mobile enough she rolls over?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
she stands up and everything like that and flops herself around when she's falling asleep.
Yeah. Hasn't tried to bounce out of the crib yet or climb out of
she
the crib
can't.
yet?
She can't do anything like that. Her changing table is right here, and I always kept it far enough away so that way she couldn't grab and pull up or anything like that.
Babies are good at that. Is anything else in the room? Any other furniture, like a rocker or?
No, there wasn't any. It was literally her crib was on the far wall. Her changing table was right here, and then dresser was by the door.
Did you ever? Sometimes with little guys, especially if they're not feeling well or something like that, you tend to. Some people will lay down in there or have a futon or something in there, so if you had to rest, so you never slept in there or anything like that.
She was a complete sleep by herself. and everything like that. She wasn't one that I could like hold and put to sleep or anything like that. She,
Okay.
yeah.
Kind of needed her space.
Yeah, she needed her space.
What about pets and stuff?
I have my dog.
Okay, did dog ever curl up with her?
No, I'm just at his crib. He sleeps with me.
Okay, so is he allowed in the room or?
No, I close the doors that way. It's only like a little itty bitty crack, and then he curls up and I have my door open and he curls up with me.
Okay. All right.
He doesn't ever try to get with her or anything.
Okay.
Okay. So we can continue with some of those harder questions. What time did you find?
Probably about 6:20.
Okay.
Can you tell me about that?
She was laying on her back. Her hair wasn't wet or anything like that because sometimes when she like spills her bottle a little bit, the back of her neck will get wet, but nothing was sweaty, nothing was wet, anything like that. She wasn't breathing, she wasn't moving. I picked her up and she was limp and her head flung back and everything like that. I brought her downstairs. I pretty much just ran downstairs holding her like this. I set her down on the couch where you guys cut and that kind of stuff just to kind of like try to, like tickle her tummy or something like that. It was just a reaction once I realized obviously that wasn't working. I laid her down on the floor where you guys cut the hole in the thing and I tried CPR, and then when I knew that was probably like not even 30 seconds of trying that, I called.
Yeah. Have you taken CPR classes before? Like, kind of just what?
I did.
I mean, a lot of people just have seen stuff too.
I did after my first daughter was. After
Okay.
my first daughter died.
Okay. Cool.
And my
So-
mom was a CPR instructor.
Okay, so you're familiar with like infant CPR versus that? Okay.
Yeah.
But it wasn't effective. Wasn't
I
changing
just
anything?
pushed on the chest about 2 or 3 times, and then I tried it, and I knew that she wasn't breathing. She was limp, and
Okay, and then what?
that's when I called my ex-husband and 911 and the grandparents.
Okay. And your ex-husband was where again?
Deployed.
Okay. Can you tell me how those conversations went?
He didn't answer.
Okay. And then the next call you said was to.
It was either to, I can't remember if I probably called their grandparents, and it was not breathing, and then I hung up, and that's they were like not even a minute down the road, and then I called 911
Okay.
just because I wanted them there when the police came and everything like that. So I didn't want them to know.
Okay. And then what?
And then they gave her CPR for an hour.
Okay. You gave her CPR for an hour?
The ambulance.
Oh, okay. The EMS, the people that showed up. Oh, okay. And did the grandparents show up?
Yeah, they showed up before the ambulance.
Okay.
The ambulance probably got there about 10 minutes after I called.
Okay.
We were just sitting around her and trying to wake her up and crying over her.
Did you notice anything about her? Anything that kind of caught your attention or anything?
Nothing
That seemed out of the ordinary or
other
was different?
No, I mean she was gone.
Okay. And then I understand they transported her and then they flew her out pretty quick?
They transported her to she was there for probably about an hour and a half or so, and then we flew.
Okay.
How did you know when you guys got to?
We got to probably a little bit sooner than we thought. She actually started moving. She started moving around on the plane about 15 to 20 minutes before we landed, and she was moving her head and everything. And they said because being in the plane and everything, they gave her a shot to numb her and stop her from moving, just because they wanted her to calm down and not pull any tubes or anything else.
Okay.
But she did start moving on the plane.
Like trying to lift her head or
She was
like
moving her head back and forth.
When you guys actually got to the hospital, tell me what happened.
Once we actually got to the hospital, I think just all the meds and everything that they gave her, her arm was twitching and everything like that, but they didn't try any more CPR or anything like that. They just gave her some different meds and put her on the breathing machine, and then probably over that night, because we probably got there, I don't know, probably about 12 or 1 in the morning, and then through that night, we almost lost her heartbeat a couple times, and they were just giving her different meds and drugs and that kind of stuff. And then they got it stable again, and she was doing fine for about, let's see, that was Monday night, so we got there Tuesday morning. She kept her heartbeat Tuesday, she kept her heartbeat Wednesday, and she lost it about Wednesday night. It was hard though, because when they put they had to like cut a thing in her neck to be able to put all the IVs and that kind of stuff in. The balloon that was in her stomach that kept her breathing and everything like that, apparently they cut the hole a little bit bigger than the tube actually was, so you didn't know if she was breathing or like spiked it, or if the machine just had like a little wisp in it or something like that. The balloon in her stomach kept getting deflated, so they always had to come in and fill that up. But we never knew if it was her or if it was the
machine.
Yeah.
That was happening like around Wednesday.
That's when they told me, like, the first time I knew it happened is when, it started getting weird breathing patterns and everything like that, and that was Wednesday, and that's when they came and inflated it again. But they never said anything about it before, so I don't know if it could have been the machine the whole entire time, and she never was there.
Right.
And I'm sure there'll probably be a lot more information that comes along kind of as things go to maybe help clear some of this.
And so it kind of continued, and then Thursday, was there any status or any changes with her?
Thursday, we lost her. I knew that she stopped breathing Wednesday night. Thursday, they did the first brain dead test, and then Friday morning, my ex-husband got into, and we ended up having a bicker and everything like that, so I flew out, and then Friday afternoon they did the second breathing test, is just what he's told me, and then that's when they declared her gone.
I'm sorry, you said X, is there another person involved, or are we talking about the person that's deployed? Were you guys?
He flew.
William?
Yeah.
Okay.
He flew in Friday.
Okay. Right.
We're getting divorced, so.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Sorry, I gotcha. I don't know if there was somebody else.
So, when Billy flew in, Thursday night or Friday morning?
Yeah, he probably got he left, his plane got there about 12:30 that Thursday or Friday morning. Thursday.
Okay. All right. You guys said you got a little bit of a bicker. What happened there?
We've been decided that we were going to get divorced about 2 months ago or so, and we just haven't talked much since then and everything like that. Just with all the anger and stress with and everything like that, we just bickered a little bit. It just wasn't worth me staying there. I mean, I knew that we were probably going to bicker, so I said my goodbyes, and I told him that I loved her and everything before he got there, because I figured I was going to be flying out. But
How did the next couple of days go?
I flew back here, and then I texted, told you when I was coming back, and you guys came in, took the phone, everything like that. I got the house pretty much situated, and I moved all my stuff over to my sister's.
Okay. So there's nothing of yours over at the house anymore? Okay.
Have you been able to talk with Billy at all?
Here and there, I texted him. He's called me because, we have to decide the cremation and how everything's going to go with that. I think he's still in. I'm honestly not sure. I think they're just waiting for her to be cremated and everything like that, and to be able to bring her back here, because there's no cremation people here. Other than that, I texted him today just because I went to the divorce people, so I had to give them all the papers, and I told them how we needed to get everything notarized and all that kind of stuff.
So not a super fun conversation.
No, it was just a couple text messages from me, and then one from him that he was busy, and we'd talk later.
Right. So you're staying with your sister. How many siblings do you have?
Just So I don't know if I've explained this or not, but I have two older brothers, and my oldest brother was married to my sister for about 10 years, and they were together 7 years before that. So she's just always been really, really close to me, and they got divorced about 2 years ago. But
Okay. And that's
Was a sister-in-law and now just seems like your sister?
yeah,
Are you guys pretty close?
yeah, we've always been pretty close.
She helped out with any childcare with or anything, or
Like a day here and there when I was working at, but
it's just not her?
not in the last couple months, just because the grandparents came up here in March, something. I flew down to Louisiana and helped them drive up. So
Okay.
must have been kind of a cool trip.
yeah, they were just pretty much the primary care providers and everything like that whenever I had to work and all that kind of stuff. They lived with me and for about 3 months, and then they got their house on post. So then she'd just go there whenever I had to work.
So if they come up in, did you say March or April?
Yeah.
And then they lived with you for 3 months, so kind of like through July, would that be roughly? Okay. And that's when they got their housing squared away. Got it. Okay. And how was your relationship with them?
It was really good and everything like that. We're not talking right now just because they're, focused on Billy and all that kind of stuff.
Right. And so,
Before that, we had Sunday dinners every week and that kind of stuff.
Okay. Cool. You guys are pretty close before?
Yeah.
Okay. I imagine this is a lot of stress, this kind of situation, so.
and so, Grandma would often, or your mother-in-law would often watch. Is that right? How often would she do that?
I started going about almost 2 months ago, and I work Monday through Friday. When I just started doing the 9:30, but it was 8:30 until about 6, and now it's like 6:37. So
Wow, it's a long day. So you have her during that? Okay.
one minute I pick her up and give her dinner, and then she'd go to bed. And then I wake her up and give her breakfast, play with her for a little bit, and take her nails.
How did it seem to go along very well over there during, I guess, kind of the child care part?
Yeah. They have 2 kids, so when they got off of school and everything like that, their 2 kids would play with her, and then, they got the 2 little dogs that she played with and everything like that. But yeah, no, she did really good over there. She loved it.
Good.
So I know we've kind of described the room layout and talked a little bit about kind of what was in there in these kinds of situations, just so I can kind of have that understanding of how things were and placement and things like that. We've got a doll that we use to just kind of show, or would you mind if I brought that in, and then we can, just so I can kind of see where you said you picked her up out of the crib? Did you notice that?
Yeah, you
Okay,
guys
just
already
kind of
took
how-
pictures and everything like that. She was laying on her back, and I didn't move anything except for her bottle.
Okay, but it's just to show like where where her legs were and things like that, and where her arms were and kind of replacement. It sounds like her head maybe was near the nearest the window. They get that into the crib.
Yeah, she just had her head turned and her arms were down. There's nothing special about it.
Okay.
You said her head was turned. That's actually one of the questions on here too.
This way?
So she was looking at her head was turned to the left?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So I think this is some kind of where I'm just getting confused on layout and stuff like that. Are you okay if I bring that in? Like, so we could just kind of maybe use the desk or something there as a figure out whatever this closest to that very hands to you. So what do you think? So let's say the window, and please correct me if I'm wrong with any of this. So
Yeah, no, the window's
here.
that way, yeah. And it's probably like middle right here, and her crib would be like over to where like you are.
So up against a wall? Okay. So if is this about kind of how big? I mean, I guess the mattress would be a little bit
Yeah,
bigger.
the crib's a little bit longer, but she was about like this, her arms were like that, and her head was turned like this, and
So
bumper.
facing the door, because the door would be kind of behind where you're at. Okay, so when you come in, just show me what you did to figure out what she wasn't doing.
Well, when I noticed she wasn't doing anything or anything like that, I went to pick her up like this, and then when I noticed her head was limp and everything, I scooted up under her and picked her up, went like that, and then carried her downstairs like that.
And then how, so if this is now, from there, did you go to the couch or the floor, did you say?
Couch.
Okay, so let's say this is the couch, this being, I guess, that corner, so
Yeah, she was just
that being where the TV's at?
Yeah. Well, the TV was right here, so the couch was right here.
So this is the corner of the couch, the door being over there.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and then so she was just, I leaned her up against the couch like this, and then just kind of like tried to like tickle her a little bit.
Am I the only one that is dying to know what a detective is thinking after speaking to somebody like this? I mean, your child's not breathing, so you tickle them? I got to know what these two detectives talk about when they go in the hallway. That
was not even a minute, and then that's when I laid her down on the ground.
Okay, so then how you pick her up, and then I guess this being that surface on the floor. What did you go ahead?
So I mean, like
Maybe
it was the
it's
same
looking
way when I knew that there was nothing, when I knew that she couldn't lift her own head and that kind of stuff.
And how did you take her?
And then when I went to go put her on the floor, I went like this and laid her down and tried to give her, tried to like push a little bit and try to give her CPR, and I knew nothing was working, so I called.
How long did you do that? Did you try this out first?
Less than a minute. It was all I knew. I mean, she wasn't breathing, anything like that. I tried to push in her chest a little bit when I didn't feel anything when I was doing it. I was like, yeah.
Okay. And then did you pick her up off the floor?
No, did not move her at all.
Kept her there until EMS, or did the grandparents arrive first, or EMS?
The grandparents, and we didn't touch her, didn't move her, or anything like that. I was standing, she was laying like this. I was sitting by her head. Her papa was over here, and her nana was over here.
Okay. Now, did anybody else move her? Did anything? So what were you guys
EMS
doing?
did when they were giving her CPR and everything like that.
Right, okay. But between the three of you guys before they did any kind of intervention on like that?
No.
So what were you guys doing?
We were waiting for EMS, and we were just pretty much crying and just trying to, just didn't really want to touch her because we didn't want to do anything wrong or anything like that. We were just petting her head. We were lifting up her arm, just trying to get her to move. And we were just saying, you gotta wake up. And then the EMS people, we seen all the lights, and they drove past our house. So me and my grandma, or my mother-in-law, ran out there because they went way too far, and then her papa was in the house with her.
Okay.
And that's when we chased them down, and then they were running this way and came down.
Okay. I'm going to put this back.
So that evening, you placed her down to take that nap. What led you to go check on her?
I always do after 30 minutes. It's just my normal thing because I don't want her choking on the bottle or anything like that. And I always she has a habit of drinking all of it, so I always just come pick it up. And, she's not quite as sleepy. I don't make her another one, but.
Right, okay. Do you set like an alarm on a watch or a phone or anything like that to do that, or is that just whenever you come?
No, I've been watching my episodes, and they're only about 30 minutes.
Okay.
So just on Netflix.
Okay, so just kind of a routine 30-minute check. So these are going to be different, harder questions here, but when you found, did you see any discoloration around her face, nose, or mouth?
Her skin was whiter, like it was paler than normal.
Okay.
And she seemed like around her nose and her mouth, she had a little bit of a blue tint to it.
A blue tint around nose, mouth? Okay. Did you see anything coming out of her nose or mouth? Any?
No, she didn't have any goo or anything like that coming out until after the EMS people started CPR.
When you checked on her, was she sweaty or warm to the touch?
No, she wasn't too warm. She wasn't sweaty or anything like that. Normally, like I said, she'll tip her bottle to the side or something like that, and milk will run down her back and her hair will be all wet. But she was completely dry.
Okay. Would you describe her as cool to the touch, or just not as warm as normal?
It's just not as warm as normal.
Okay. Did anyone other than EMS try to resuscitate?
Not fully. No, we were just touching her.
Other than you said when you were trying to.
Like I said, pushed on her chest a few times, and then I went down to try to like see if she was breathing. It wasn't fully CPR. It was just to see, give her a few things, and then when I noticed she wasn't breathing, like I said, it was only about 30 seconds to less than a minute.
Okay.
When were you able to call out? When did you kind of have that opportunity where it felt like it was that good, quick, like...
On my phone, I think it was 6:24.
Okay, so...
That's when I called 911.
After you, on your way down the stairs, at what point in that
When
process?
she was laying down.
When she was, okay. And then, did anybody else use your phone at that point, or is it your phone? I mean, I don't know if anybody else. Sometimes people share phones or things like that. So, does anybody else use your phone ever?
I'll let my her uncle, her husband's little brother use the phone sometimes. Other than that, no.
How old is he?
He's 10.
Okay. When's the last time he used the phone? Like, but do you think within a couple of days? Sunday. Okay, so a few days before.
The night before.
Okay. And you said
It's like Monday, Sunday dinner. So.
Does he like play games on it or something?
Yeah.
Like it's like play games on everything.
Yeah, I'll let him play the bubble game sometimes, and there's some other games that
Okay, but nobody else uses your phone or anything like that. Do you know if there's? Do you have Wi-Fi? Does Post give you Wi-Fi?
I have Wi-Fi.
Oh, they don't provide it for you? Oh, that they all know is like included in housing and stuff. Okay, well, that's okay. It seems like it should be, huh? So the Wi-Fi that you buy that through I'm sorry. Okay, is it secure so nobody else jumps on it and takes your stuff or uses your minutes or whatever?
Yeah,
I haven't had
it's
ACES for a while.
protected.
Okay. And are there other people that use that? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm worried with that with the phone and stuff with that. So, so when she was on the floor, so had they? And I'm sorry, did the grandparents you said arrive just before EMS did? Okay. And I suppose at that point, after you'd called 911, is there any other? Were you still trying to get a hold of your ex?
I didn't try again until after EMS got there.
Okay. Or were you just trying to give him a heads up that this was
I
going
was
on?
just trying to wake him up, tell him what was going on.
Now, where was he deployed to?
Well,
Which is, okay, terrible geography stuff. So is it kind of opposites, like daytime here, nighttime there? Or?
13-hour difference.
Okay. When was the first opportunity that you actually were able to speak with him? Do you remember?
Right before we went to Anchorage.
Before you flew back down? Okay, so a little bit of time. How are you doing? Kind of, it seems like kind of on your own, sort of, right?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't talk too much anyway, just because, like I said, we were planning on doing the divorce and everything like that. We had child custody and everything like that all figured out. We weren't figuring about that or anything.
Do you mind if I ask you a little bit about your relationship kind of with him and sort of what led up to the divorce?
Sure. We got together around Thanksgiving of 2015. We found out we were pregnant in January or February of 2016, and we got married in April of 2016, and it was pretty much, we were young. We only were together a couple months, but we thought we were in love. And, we got married, and we were doing really good, everything like that. We're both very closed-ended people. We don't like talking about, like what's bothering us and that type of things. We never fought, but we just never really like opened up to each other.
Okay.
And that kind of stuff. But
Just a little kind of guarded or something?
yeah, we both kind of were.
Do you know why that is?
We just, I don't really know. I guess we just couldn't feel like we could open up to each other. I guess it was.
Does something happen? Sometimes some people say something and then you just kind of, it's a deal breaker and you can't come back from it, or
No,
like that?
nothing like that. We were just both kind of shut off people. But other than that, we were happy at the time. He found out he was getting deployed, obviously, this year. And
When did he leave on that deployment?
March. He was 4 months old.
I'd say, so she must have been brand new, and
Yeah.
that's going to be
And then
super
about
tough
2 months later, we flew down to Louisiana down with his family.
Okay. Throughout your guys' relationship, so it doesn't sound like you guys were actually together too long. What kind of guy was he?
He was He was good. I mean, he was just closed off and everything like that. The main thing that pushed us to the divorce was another girl in his unit. He ended up liking another girl in his unit, and just realized he could have a better relationship and everything like that.
So did he have an affair with her, or just
No.
he was interested?
No, he was just interested, and they talked about getting together after we got divorced and everything like that.
Okay, but nothing while you guys were married. It's just obviously not anything you want to hear about or even have to.
Yeah, and I mean, it was obviously hard the first couple days after he told me and everything like that, and then we decided a little bit later that we were just going to get divorced, we were going to separate, and then we were going to, start over and try if we wanted to. Just to, he was getting out of the Army here in the next couple months anyway, so, there wasn't going to be any benefits or anything like that. As far as post-housing and all that kind of stuff goes, but, yeah, I mean, we were talking about that for a little bit, and then we just decided it wasn't worth it. We were going to be together, friends and that kind of stuff. But, we settled on custody and all that kind of stuff. We had everything laid up.
What'd you guys decide on custody?
Since he hadn't been able to be around her or anything like that, obviously for the past 9 months, I was going to give him full custody for, a year or so, just to, that way he can get to know her and everything like that. We agreed that I was still going to have her on my days off and everything, since I work so many hours anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna have her on my days off, and then we'd still be friends and everything like that. But
Yeah, try to do what's best for
yeah,
maybe. Okay, so it sounds like maybe guys didn't have that sort of emotional connection. You know what I mean? And kind of that communication. I'm not hearing anything about like domestic violence or anything
No.
like that. Was that ever an issue with you guys?
we never hit each other or anything like that. We never screamed and yelled.
Nobody threatened anybody?
No. The worst fight we've ever had was just yelling at each other and calling each other names at the hospital, but that was just because we were both mad. That
You're
was
talking about recently?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can only imagine that with all the stress that it's
Yeah.
understandable.
But that was the worst fight we've ever been in. Other than that, we never yelled, we never screamed at each other or anything like that.
So I got to tell you, talking with lots of people, you guys seem like you're pretty calm and with your ability to kind of work through everything, talk it through, and you know what I mean, that it's less of an emotional kind of a thing, at least the decision you're making.
Yeah, this what made it hard with him being deployed, though, is because we actually, we couldn't actually sit and talk about stuff whenever we fought over things or something like that. It honestly wasn't easy to just sit down in front of each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can't really do that over the phone, and that's just a lot.
So it just got on us, and then we just decided that it was going to be better for everybody if we just took a break from each other. And we were still planning on moving down to his family and everything like that, just because.
In like Louisiana, you mean?
No, Michigan.
Okay, so you were planning on moving there?
Yeah,
Tell me
we were
about
planning
that.
on moving there. When he obviously got back in December, we were going to move in June or July of next year.
Okay,
Because he was going to be out of the Army.
Okay. And did you have a plan, like the kind of jobs you'd have, or how you were going to kind of co-parent?
I was going to stay with banking and everything like that, and he was doing a couple different things. He was thinking about going into truck driving and different stuff like that.
Okay. So maybe, but still just co-parenting, not trying to get involved in a romantic relationship or anything like
No,
that.
we were still just talking about being friends. That's about it.
Right. You seem pretty level-headed about how you were trying to make plans.
Yeah.
Did the divorce part of that kind of derail things, sort of the affair portion of that, or his interest rather in the person?
Yeah, I mean, once he told me he was interested in another person, and then they were making plans to get together and everything like that when he got back and we got divorced, that was pretty much when we decided, all right, we're just gonna do this, and we'll do what's best for him, but everything
What was best for?
was just staying friends and everything like that. There's no reason to sit there and yell at each other. And
Still giving him full custody, but like a visitation schedule? When did you find out, or when did he have that conversation with you about this other girl?
It's all on my own phone.
Okay, do you remember it being like within the last week or like the last
No,
month?
it was right around her birthday.
Okay, which was when again?
October.
Okay.
That does make it an especially trying time as well.
Yeah, obviously I know it's hard for him. His little girl's turning a year old, and he couldn't be
He's
there
not
for
here.
it and everything like that. So I think that's kind of what pushed him away from everything. I don't, all that kind of stuff. But yeah,
How's that kind of relationship now? Because I'm guessing up until a week ago, you guys were still trying to. It sounds like you're still trying to
we
work it
still
out.
talked every day. We weren't working it out as the fact of
Right.
we were going to get back together or anything like that. But we still talked
The
every day
co-parenting.
and everything like that. We sent pictures and kept him updated.
Yeah, that sounds like the right thing to do. Did is he still planning on hooking up with that other girl?
I have no idea.
He hasn't talked to you anymore about that.
No, we've literally, since I left on Friday morning,
Okay, this last week.
Yeah, we've had one conversation over the phone just about her getting cremated and everything like that. When we were, splitting the ashes and that kind of stuff, where he wanted to do his and everything like that. And then, other than that, it was me telling him what the divorce lawyer told me today.
What did you guys decide to do with the ashes?
Just we'll split them out.
Okay. All right.
Do you know if he's still planning on moving, or do you know how?
He's probably gonna take leave right around January or so when he gets tax returns back, and he'll probably go down there. He wants to put her ashes next to his grandfather.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm pretty sure he's gonna move once he gets out of the military.
What do you plan on doing with your?
I'm gonna stay up here for about another year or so, just to be able to get good groundings with my job.
Yeah,
And then I'll probably end up
probably be able to save some money,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
When you guys were talking about divorce and things like that, were you guys talking about working on child support or alimony or anything like that?
No, we didn't want child support or alimony from each
Okay.
other because we knew, if he had her, I was going to be giving him anything that he needed for her. And when I had her, he would be doing the same. That's one thing that we always agreed on was number one.
That's number what?
Number one, nothing else mattered but her, so.
I know that when we kind of chatted briefly, you talked about you guys decided to get, part of the reason you guys decided to get married is for some of the military benefits and things like that.
Yeah, the housing.
Sure. Was there any discussion about how to extend any of those benefits so that you could still receive some of those or anything like that?
No, I don't want
anything
anything from it. I talked that from the, we already decided that,
Mhm.
or I decided that I don't want any alimony or any of his military retirement or anything like that. The only thing that we're going to try to split is the tax return. He's not too into it, but
He doesn't like the idea.
No, he wants to keep his part of the tax return and file separately like we did last year, which is fine, but there's I just figured it'd be easier for us to split it since we both have to pay off our military star cards and all that kind of stuff before he gets out of the military.
Got it. Okay.
That's the only thing that we're debating on right now.
Do you want some water? We're talking about a lot. I just want to take a quick break. Just if you need some water, I can go get you some.
I'm okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. We're gonna step out. Give you just a second, but we'll be right back.
Okay.
Hey, just real quick, not a commercial. Hey, thank you for watching. Don't forget to turn your notifications to all so that you don't miss anything and so that you can show up in the first hour. Just a reminder. Back to the video.
So I know that one of the things that we talked about and Paris at some point was in regards to your phone and trying to get that phone back to you. One of the things that we did with phones, we were able to do a download of the phone. We were able to look at the content and stuff like that of stuff that occurred that day. And so what I did, I just kind of printed out some of the stuff here. It's kind of small things. So I kind of wanted to go through some of the stuff and show you what we recovered from that. right? And so what this is this is actually just part, so what we do is when we do the downloads of the phone, it basically pulls kind of all the, I guess, information that the phone normally processes. It's just, right, so there's like navigation information that's on there. There's some of the text messages and stuff like that that goes through stuff, right? The other thing, so assuming you go by Elizabeth on your phone, right? And so it kind of shows some of the conversations, right? And sometimes there's an empty file because it's not always recovering everything that's on that phone, right? And so what it is, I just kind of pulled in the stuff that occurred on that day. And so there's Jenna, right? Just talking about, because it sounds like this is when you guys were going over to Affordable. Is that accurate? Like almost 90 you guys, right? You see this shows like some of the emails and stuff, or maybe other longer text messages that come in this way here. It actually shows other emails. The neat thing about this is that when we do this, it's like a forensically sound method, right? So we actually pull, a lot of times we'll pull a bit for bit image of that information, and we actually check it to make sure that it's accurate. And that's what we do on this as well.
So what that means is it basically doesn't selectively pick stuff. It captures everything that's on that device.
So and you can see, like, it sounds like that's when showed up at Affordable was 12:03, right? And you guys were talking about the car seats, and stuff like that. It's, looks like you connected, is that your Wi-Fi?
Would you have connected to any other Wi-Fi's or anything? I mean, you don't have anybody else's password or whatever, like your neighbors or anything you guys share or anything like that.
And so it kind of shows you research for like affordable used cars. You're talking to your sister right here, right? You playing some games and stuff like that. Those, just normal stuff that people do on their phone. So here you're talking about you got the car done, which is good. You're talking on Facebook. Looks like you're buying some stuff. You connected back to your I'm assuming, right? Is going to be your Wi-Fi. So it shows that you connected at 2:23 p.m. Just another email company, right?
Does this all sound like what you remember from conversations that you had?
Right.
Okay.
And then your sister sent you a message talking about trying to get a dresser and, just kind of arranging times, right? And like this right here, you send Vanessa a message saying, hey, this is the last minute, but you're trying to move stuff and Jazz is having a crazy moment. You want to go drop her off for a little bit. It can be later, but it doesn't have to be now. And that was to Jenna, right? Okay. Emails, a lot of this stuff, right? But then I started looking down and, I started to find things in the internet history. So this is at 4:45, and this is ways to kill a human with no proof. 16 steps to kill someone and not get caught.
So one of the things that the forensic group will do is, like I said, remember it captures everything on the device. It doesn't actually, it doesn't selectively go through that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and one of the things he's able to do with that is to search kind of what was being searched on the phone, what that browsing history is. So that's part of one of the things we wanted to talk about, to figure out kind of what else was going on kind of at that time, or why, I guess what the interest was in some of these.
So this is at 1644 is how to commit the perfect murder. But if we go down again 1644 is where we're rolling through. There's drugs that can kill people with no trace. A perfect drug is a murder weapon. And then we check our email, 1645.
Okay.
Continue on. You can actually check an email to you from ZipRecruiter. Then there's a search items for.
Do you remember checking the email? Do you remember checking your email that day?
I don't remember checking that exact email, no.
Okay. Then we move on and we're searching for potassium chloride. Potassium chloride prices.
Do you know what potassium chloride is? What is potassium chloride?
We'll get into that here in just a minute.
Well, and remember, these are search engines. So the point of bringing them up is that they've been searched, so the information is there.
Yeah.
So.
Have you ever heard of it?
Okay.
I honestly don't remember searching the stuff.
So 1654 is what medicine can cause seizures.
Okay.
1654 is epilepsy causes and partial onset seizure symptoms.
Okay.
Are you concerned about seizures or anything that she was having? That she was having?
No, I mean, that was.
Has that ever been a concern for you?
I'm trying to remember what show I was watching at that point. I mean, it might have been like a CSI show or something like that. And sometimes when I'm watching on my search, weird stuff and that kind of stuff, but I don't remember.
Tell me about that. Do you remember, what do you mean you stuff to search?
Oh, no, I mean, like CSIs, you know, I watch the CSI Miami and that kind of different stuff like that. And,
Do you remember watching anything that day?
I might have been watching something that day, and I might have been searching it when she was taking a nap, but.
Okay.
So, can drowning shown in autopsy report?
Okay.
Right. So, and we keep moving on. At 1707.
Does any of this sound like what you remember searching?
I mean, like I said, it was probably. I know this sound looks very, very, very bad, but
But what we
no.
want to do is we want to go directly to you and ask.
Yeah,
I mean, that's why we're.
I mean, I was watching my show on I honestly don't remember what it was called or anything like that, but I was watching my show on the Fire Stick, and sometimes when I do that, I search things like that.
Gotcha. Okay. So you've done these kind of searches in the past?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it's just
So-
stuff because, you know, when they're going through it and things like that, you know, different kind of things happen and
Right.
that kind of stuff. I was just trying to figure out what the show was doing.
I got you. So it goes on. So again, can drowning shown in autopsy report? Suffocating and smothering. Right. Ways to suffocate. Best ways to suffocate. What is the easiest way to suffocate yourself to death? Right. Nonviolent ways to end life. Then there's a text message that says, "LOL, you're fine. She laid down for a nap."
Yeah, it was from Jenna because I went to go pick up the car and I used my friend's car seat.
Then you play games pretty much nonstop for a while, right? Then you called Jenna at 1822. Then you,
Yeah.
yep. Then you called 911 at
Do you remember that?
1824.
Yeah, like I said, around.
So here's the deal. Your phone history goes back to September 15th, 2015. You've never searched these items before.
The other thing that is kind of curious that we want to ask you too, you mentioned that you, in searching these shows, you know, when the show comes on and it kind of piques your interest, like,
Yeah.
look at something. My experience has been when these shows, you know, it's about a half-hour show usually, and they have a show about, you know, kids that died from drowning, right? So you're going to spend half an hour on a topic. So the problem is you've got chemicals, you've got drowning, you've got suffocation, you got multiple ways to harm a child.
Okay, I understand, you know, how this looks and everything like that, but if you're going to try to pin this on something that I did with none of that stuff pops up. None of that stuff would make any sense
Okay.
in her case.
And that's why we're talking with you. Remember, that's why we can see it, and if it's not what it looks like, that's why we want to talk to you, because if there's an explanation, that's kind of what we're looking for. You know what I mean? To help it make sense.
For the show aspect of it, it was, you know, somebody probably just, it was, I'm trying to think.
Okay.
Somebody came in and there was just the dead body and they were looking at different chemicals and that kind of stuff in the house. They were looking at all that kind of different stuff.
Sure. So why did you look at the prices of potassium chloride?
That might have been something that I accidentally just stepped on. I mean, honestly, I don't know what potassium chloride is.
Right, but if you Googled it, you would, right?
No, because obviously if I Googled it and I probably just searched different little things, it probably just something that popped up in the TV.
Potassium chloride is another chemical that we used
Right. So
to harm somebody.
that's generally what we refer to as the angel of death drug, right? It's what nurses use to kill their patients.
No, I
And
didn't
it's
know
also
that.
used in when people are executed. It's the last drug administered in a 3-drug cocktail, which stops the heart.
Okay.
Right. Now, I'm not super concerned about potassium chloride showing up in that because you're looking at prices, and I don't think that you've sourced anything with potassium chloride over a 45-minute period. But these are the issues that I have, right? And these are the things that we need clarification on. We start with the best ways to kill a human, an untraceable murder, we look at chemicals to kill somebody, we look at how to induce epilepsy, and then we move on to can drowning show in an autopsy report. There's not a show that exists that's going to have all of these topics contained within one, right? And the topics go all over the place.
No, I mean, that's why I'd be searching one thing, that kind of stuff, something's going to pop up, and then I'm going to be like, wait a second, and then go to that. I mean, that's what the internet does.
Oh,
It's a lot of
absolutely,
that.
absolutely. The thing is, you don't have a history of doing this.
I mean, it could have been easily on the iPad instead of.
Sure. But you've had that phone for quite a while.
Mhm.
It provides us with a history of your searches. Right?
Okay.
You haven't done this,
Okay.
right? So of the 2 years that you've had that phone, right?
I haven't had that phone for 2 years.
The 2 years that actually, so when you get new phones, and it backdates all your histories and stuff like that because you transfer your information,
I
right?
gotcha.
Then you don't have searches like this. So as many shows that you've watched, as many times as you've watched those shows that search the internet, these searches don't exist, right? Your last search is best way to suffocate, easiest way to suffocate yourself to death, right? At 1709, nonviolent ways to end life, final exodus.
What does that mean to you? Do you remember why you searched that? And what it comes back to?
Like I said, I started with one thing and it just popped on the stuff.
No, and I believe you, right? And I guess that's part of why we're trying to understand, put the pieces together. You know, I think that a lot of times in these situations, there's things that maybe we just don't understand or the things that are going on, and that's why it's always best to go straight to the source. I mean, if we went and asked your ex or your in-laws or anything like that, I'm sure under all the stress, they just are probably not being super nice right now. I don't know. You're going to know you're the one that's there. So we're not going to go to them and say, hey, what do you think? You know, that's why we kind of do an independent investigation. And that's why with this phone rip, it captures everything. Okay. So if there's something else that was going on at the time, I've got little kids. He's got little kids. Little kids can be very, very stressful.
My daughter wasn't stressful for me. I love my daughter being all the life.
Absolutely. And and I don't think anybody.
I was
Just
way
about.
earlier, yeah.
Right, yeah, that was about 3:45 p.m., right?
She didn't get back to me till a couple hours later.
Right, so at 4:43, you search affordable used cars. Your next search at 4:43 is ways to kill a human with no proof. Okay?
So I've got a question for you. I'm kind of serious. You've been under a lot of stress with the divorce, with the new information about the girlfriend or whatever that kind of relationship is. You're in a new place. You know he's getting out. Things just aren't really going the way you guys had planned, and I think you're trying to do right by her by making that plan and trying to be real consistent about that. Were you? And I guess I'm just going to ask it frankly. Were you having any kind of thoughts of or anything like that?
No.
Have you ever had any thoughts? And that doesn't reflect on you as a person. It's just kind of.
If you look back at my medical records, I think it was 2013. I got put into the ER because I did try to kill myself at that point. But
Okay, how did you try to? What method did you use?
I took a whole box of NyQuil with the tablets.
Okay, but they were able to. I mean, did you stay in the hospital for a while?
I didn't go overnight.
Okay. So with new babies and stuff, and kind of postpartum even and stuff like that, I know she's a little bit older, but sometimes these things take a while. Is it possible that you weren't in a good place?
I was hurt, sure, but I mean, I was gonna do anything I possibly could to be there for my daughter and everything like that. But yeah, I mean, I was hurt and I didn't know what to do, but I didn't search that stuff to try to hurt me or her or anything like that.
Okay.
I just started with one search and then it popped up on everything else, and I understand how this looks, but.
And it's okay. That's why we want to talk with you. And remember how I said sometimes there's other things going on, and sometimes the best way for us to kind of figure that out is to ask those questions, because with so much going on, sometimes it's hard to remember all those details. Do you know where you fell with that within like right before this happened?
No, more than I was focusing on caring for my daughter and putting her down for a nap and going to work the next day.
Okay. What else was going on?
Nothing about what I wanted to that weird or anything. I just did one search and everything else popped up.
Okay.
So those searches kind of lasted for a while. But you didn't have no intention of harming yourself? Do you remember why you initially searched for it?
Whatever the first search was brought me to everything else. I don't remember why. Like I said, it was just something on the show probably made me do the first search, and then with Google, everything else went from there.
Do you remember what show it was? What it was talking about?
No.
You don't really have something else that happened. I think that's what you're talking about after the fact.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and absolutely. I can't even imagine what you must be going through.
So one thing that I can kind of see in this, right, is the difference between a search term that is typed in and a link that is clicked.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I can search one thing and then I can read down and then I can see what something it says on one thing and search that.
Okay.
I mean,
We usually think about it when you kind of jump between pages. You kind of, the links take you to the next one. That's, you know, how you kind of get lost in Facebook and things like that, right?
yeah, I mean, I don't think I clicked on any of the links actually. I think I just,
Well, no, that's what he's saying is you
Yeah.
did. There are specific search terms that were entered
Yeah.
about these specific topics. So rather than,
so I searched the one thing and then I'd go down and then I'd look and see what other things had just on like the little brief things that it gives you and then I went back up and searched that.
So that's a pretty wide variety of searches, right? And each one of them, for example, suffocating and smothering,
they're just very specific.
very specific.
I don't know what to say. I did some searches and
I think at this point it's time to be honest.
anyway.
Do you think it's possible, just possible, I guess that's why, again, I want to kind of throw this out, that given kind of where things were at with you and Billy, that if something had happened to him that would draw attention, that would, maybe he would come to his senses or something like that?
If anything, it would tear us more apart. It would ruin everything just like he's doing
And I
now.
would say I think that's kind of what the results have been and kind of where we're at. Do you think it's possible that if she had just been hurt and that would cause him to come back, but maybe things got a little bit out of him?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
Like I said, I lost my daughter before I went through all this pain. I'm not going to do it to get attention or anything like that. If that's what you're trying to say, I'm not going to
Well,
do
and
it to.
the reason I'm asking is we've had cases where we've had parents that will kind of like put their kids in a bad spot, if you will, but their intent is never to actually hurt, to kill them. Okay, and it's not. But kids are really unpredictable and they're really tiny. And the littlest thing things kind of get out of control pretty fast. You know what I mean? And when you're talking about a little one that's very mobile, moving around a lot.
She was the light of my life. She wasn't anything that I would hurt or anything like that.
Which is why we're trying to help you sort out what happened. Okay, but the only way we can do that is we actually, if all the details are there.
All the
So,
details are there. All the details I've been saying. Nothing in the story has changed. Anything like that.
it may not have changed, but something is missing, and here's why. Okay, I know you've gone through this before. How old was your first
5
baby?
months.
Right. So when you look at kind of unexplained death in infants and stuff, 5 months is 5 months. There's a lot more vulnerabilities and stuff at that time, but. Okay, so by the time you sort of hit that threshold at a year, less of those concerns are present. You know what I mean? So that's part of.
I had to clear with this. That's right.
And actually,
What do you mean?
I had to clear as if my daughter dies. My first daughter dies of SIDS. I
Right.
thought I was out of the clear with anything bad happening to.
What do you think happened?
I don't know.
It's okay. That's what we're trying to sort out too. We're trying to help. We're trying to do this with you.
The doctors aren't telling us anything. I don't know what happened.
And I think part of that is because they don't have all the information.
Well, they don't have all the information. I'm telling you guys everything.
That's part of what we're trying to do. Sometimes maybe there's something that, as we walk through these questions, then there's something that comes to your mind. You're the one that was there. There was nobody else in the house at that time, right? It was just you until you called them and had them come over.
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to be the best person for us to talk to kind of figure out kind of environmentally what's going on, physically what's going on with her kind of right before this and what have you.
Like I said, she was tired and she didn't want to eat a lot early, but
Her babies don't just die at 18 months.
I understand that. How do you think I feel?
I imagine you're devastated. I can't even imagine. Okay, and I'm not in any way trying to put myself in your shoes with that. I'm just trying to help you figure out what happened. But we got to have all the pieces in order to do that. So is there something that you remember seeing that even if you were hesitant to kind of say anything? Because we got to figure out how to make it make sense.
So I'm going to tell you something. 90% of SIDS cases presents itself prior to 6 months, right? Which only leaves 10% of cases. SIDS does not technically exist after a 12-month period.
And I'm not saying it says, I don't
Right.
know what.
Do you want me to tell you what the medical examiner says it is?
Sure.
Homicide. I want you to tell the truth because we play games back and forth, right? I get it, okay? It's hard to admit to. Tell me how in the world that these searches, when they've never been done on your phone ever before, all of a sudden present themselves, right? Nonviolent ways to end life at 1709, okay? At 1822, I'm sorry, at 1812, right, so 6:12 p.m., you take a 10-minute break from your game, even though you've been playing that game almost an entire time since you ended your search. There's a 10-minute break at 6:12. At 6:22, you call the in-laws to say that she's not breathing. That's a 10-minute period, right?
The 10
That
minutes.
10-minute period is when it happened.
The 10-minute period of me going upstairs, of me seeing everything,
Saying what?
of me seeing her.
No, this would be just prior to that.
No.
Before.
No. This is the 10-minute period where either you're angry or you're upset or whatever emotions that you're feeling at the time, where you decide to take that moment, okay? You put a pillow on her face, you put your hand over your face, her face, whatever way you did it, and I'm looking for you to explain that to me, okay? Right? You see her stop breathing, you bring her downstairs, okay? Then you call your in-laws. Yes, you call your in-laws. Then you call the ambulance, right? Because you saw her stop breathing. You didn't think they were going to bring her back.
So if that's not how it happened and it's an accident, that's what we got to know.
Right.
Because something had to happen. 18-month-olds don't just die.
Right.
Okay? So if there's...
You
if
tell
it's
us
an
the truth.
accident-
You're not telling the
You
truth.
can give me that smirk all you want, but I'm telling you.
Right. And here's the deal. I sat down and talked with a lot of people, right? A lot of different scenarios and scenarios just like this, okay? Circumstantially, I don't know how you overcome the best ways to suffocate. How to smother less than an hour before your baby is smothered. Explain that to me. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying, that's not true. Your Fire Stick didn't play any show.
My Fire Stick was playing the show the whole time.
What show was it? So how do you know it was playing?
Because obviously I was watching it.
No, you were playing a game on your phone.
Yes, and I can play the Fire Stick.
Right. And you're searching ways to kill people. So what I want from you is the truth. Okay.
And then we need to know the rest of it.
Okay, so from where I go from this is getting a lawyer and figuring this out from here. Because I didn't kill my daughter, I wouldn't hurt my daughter, I wouldn't harm my daughter.
Okay. So, okay. We'll walk you down.
So about a year would go by and she went back to her life. But they came eventually.
She was in a customer right now?
She does phone stuff, so I don't actually know. You can go and knock on the door.
Okay, we'll do that. Thank you.
Yeah, very last office. Alright, can I put you on a quick hold though? Alright, I'm so sorry about this.
Under arrest, you need to stand up.
Okay, can I tell my managers?
Nope. Keep your headset off. Stand up.
The court issued a $2 million warrant for your arrest today for the murder of...
You do understand that's murdering your children, right?
Something I did not do.
Excuse me?
I said that's something I did not do.
Okay, well,
Can I notify my family's not up here. The only person that knows is my boyfriend who's deployed.
Okay.
And my phone is in that desk right there. If you, I know you guys can hold that. I'm also going to need you to grab my card, please.
Where's here?
Yep.
Okay.
And
Is that
that
a clicker
one's
you need to
my
grab too?
card. Yeah.
Okay.
And then that phone.
Okay.
Question for the ladies. Which one's the bigger walk of shame? Leaving somebody's house with the same clothes on the next day or walking out of your job in handcuffs? Which one's the bigger walk of shame? This ought to be good.
Do you guys want me to transport
Yes. Yeah, back to
to the station? Okay.
Hey, Brittany. Supervisors, there's a phone over. You want my house key there?
No.
Feeling she's an ADM worse than anything that deputy for detectives.
In the end, a jury would agree that this young woman ended a life before it had a chance to thrive. She would be sentenced to decades in prison and won't have to worry about going back to work anytime soon. If you haven't already done so, check out my wife's channel, linked in the pinned comment of this video. Also remember, sharing is greater than hyping. Take this out of the algorithm's hand and share it with a friend. Stop treating me like I'm your 2 a.m. booty call. Let other people know about me. But for now, I gotta go. But I'll catch you guys really soon, right back here on They Call Me. Till next time.